Hello, Alberto. Thanks for being part of this first episode of this new project, which is something that the idea is to make lengthy interviews, in-depth interviews to bands that, well, I'm a fan of. And so, since the band began in 81, but in 81 with Andy, right?
Actually, Andy in 80.
In 80.
80, yes. They started.
Yeah.
And they had to split after 1 year because Andy was to go to the military. So they split. And I met Andy in 82. And after 1 year, we were playing together. After 1 year, the other two guys of Bulldozer came and said, we want to make a project. We want to produce 7-inch. And Andy invited me, and we went to rehearse.
So you released the single in 84, right?
Yes, I think it was March 84, yes.
Why did you choose to use that Gustave Doré Lucifer cover?
Because we had a very ancient book from La Divina Commedia.
Nice.
And I was, when I was young, I was amazed by the pictures of hell that Gustave Doré made.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, my song was about a fallen angel, which is a personal experience because I was very religious, and one night I just fell into hell, and it was a very, let's say, very strong experience.
Okay.
So I was feeling like I was belonging to the ninth circle of hell.
Perfect.
So I took one picture of the ninth circle of hell.
That's an incredible drawing by Gustave Doré.
Yeah.
So afterwards, after that first EP, you recorded a demo, but it was never released, right? Until many years later, and was released on this edition by Falk and Die Records, right?
Yes, yes. Because I occasionally found it. I mean, we recorded this demo because when I contacted Roadrunner Records, they asked for a demo. And we had the songs, because we were playing live those songs, but we had no other demo. So we recorded the demo for Roadrunner. And actually this demo was also sent to King Diamond.
That's another question.
Yeah.
So you sent it to King Diamond because you wanted him to produce the album, right? Did he listen to it?
Actually, Roadrunner proposed LG World, and I would say Andy was really liking Merciful Fate, and he said if we have King Diamond producing, maybe it's more interesting because he's more. I was okay with LG, but both King Diamond, Merciful Fate, and Tank were signed with Roadrunner, so we could let's say we could choose, but King Diamond listened to the tape, and I called him because Roadrunner gave me his phone number, and he said, no, this is too punk, this is too... I said, okay.
So LG World produced it. So that's a decision from the label.
Yeah.
Were you happy with it?
What?
Were you happy with the decision of LG World producing?
Yeah, I was happy. Yeah.
So in 85, you released The Day of Wrath, right?
Yes.
So how was back then, like, how was the reception? How was did you make an Italian tour? Because I read that you couldn't travel outside of Italy back then.
Exactly. Because I refused to join the army, so I could not have the passport, and I could not travel abroad because I was to serve, to make another alternative service for the government.
Okay.
But to punish me, they waited, and they didn't give me the passport. So I had the passport 3 years later.
So by the release of 9? Or by the release of Neuro Deliri?
Almost Neuro Deliri.
Oh, that's really late.
Yeah. and so we could not tour, we could not promote.
But The Day of Wrath was released not only in Europe but also in Canada by Roadrunner and in Far East Metal Syndicate in Japan.
Yeah, in
so
Japan,
how did that happen?
Because Roadrunner had this possibility to do that.
Oh, that's nice.
And of course the American Roadrunner, which was Combat Records, and let's say the Japanese Roadrunner decided to release.
But they didn't release the Final Separation.
They didn't release the Final Separation because they didn't like it.
Okay, so yeah, in '86, in February '86, you entered the studio to record the Final Separation, right?
Yes.
So did you produce the album yourselves, right?
Yeah.
Were you happy with the results?
Something yes and something not really. I mean, from the point of view of the performance, we like it because that was the real Bulldozer playing. You know,
Yeah.
Was not there was no trick, no.
Was it recorded live?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We recorded live. We made some, over recording, but we were recording live. The drums, the bass, and everything. Yeah, and. But unfortunately, the studio was not really professional, so the quality of the sound is a little bit limited, But it's fine. I mean, it's okay.
So
it's no problem.
Were you happy with the distribution Roadrunner gave the album back then?
I mean, whatever. Actually, at that time, the market was not really interested in Italian stuff.
Okay.
And we were considered like shit. After many years, they started respecting the Italian bands. Yeah. But at that time, all the magazines from Germany, from England, they were spitting on Bulldozer.
Oh, that's really bad.
Yeah, they were fucking assholes.
Yeah.
Fortunately, with the time, people started appreciating.
Back in the day, I read many old fanzines where it says that, well, the lyrics didn't came with the original Final Separation album, right?
Yeah.
Why didn't the lyrics came with the album? Because you always told people to write to you because you can send the lyrics back.
Yeah, that's correct.
What happened?
Roadrunner refused to include the lyrics.
Why? Because of the content?
I have no idea.
No idea, but they refused.
No idea. That was their decision.
So, back now we're passing on to 9, which is my favorite album of Bulldozer.
Yeah.
So this one, the original one, was released on Disco Magic Records, which is a big Italian disco, was the biggest Italian disco label record of the time, right?
Yeah,
so how did you manage to get into an Italian disco label? I know
that was funny because we were to be to auto-produce and be distributed by the same distributor of Roadrunner, but they were going to bankrupt. And I went just luckily to Disco Magic because someone told me if you can go there, they were starting distributing noise record in Italy.
Okay.
So they were starting with the metal, and when I went to their office, they said, we know you, and they signed us.
So I'd say 9 is definitely a change in the direction of Bulldozer sound. Do you think that's intentional, or that's what happened throughout the time while the band was composing them?
Actually, we always changed our, we made evolution of our, I mean, every album is very different from the others. And that's Bulldozer. I mean, here we are proposing, the first 2 albums, which is the first Bulldozer, I would say, with Don Andres. And here, Don Andres left the band because he was to move to the south of Italy. And we found another drummer. So, and we changed it. I mean, the other drummer was liking, thrash, and he was liking to go fast, and he was very aggressive way to play. And we said, okay, let's make. This is actually a mixture of black thrash.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's just a mixture.
It's a mixture.
And some people like, some people don't like. I mean, when this was released, Kerrang gave 0, And German Metal Hammer gave 0. They said, that's the shit. That's shit. And the Metal Forces in England, which was a big magazine, they said, that's shit album.
That sucks. That truly sucks.
Yeah, I mean,
it's bad.
I mean, that, you know, that's why I'm still, you know, not
much into the press.
No, I'm, you know, I think they were, you know, assholes.
Yeah. So, after 9 in '88, you released No Deliri, right?
Yes.
So, this includes even heavier use of synthesizer and keyboards and stuff like that.
That's a totally new way to produce, to record, and to compose. That's another chapter.
So, why did that change came? Like bringing in more keywords and even with this obscure Italian sound.
Yeah, it was a choice to make something different, you know, because I mean, we liked. Fortunately, we were free to do what we wanted, and we did what we wanted. We had no pressure from the labels, you know. So, we were not forced to follow, you know, a fashion or the trend, you know, and we went free, and we. You know, we created this project, which is different from the previous.
It's super different, but it's super good as well.
Yeah, it's something different. I mean, many people have been influenced by this album, as well as you know, this album and Final Separation. Different bands took
definitely different styles, but it's Bulldozer. It's the essence of Bulldozer.
Exactly,
That's the thing. Yeah. So. By the time I read an interview from '89 from a Japanese fanzine where it says you played usually for 1,000 people when you play, and you play like 10 times a year, right? You didn't play much during the year?
No, very, very little.
Very little.
And the most important people, you know, the most important country for Bulldozer were Poland.
Yeah, because of the Alive in Poland, right?
Yeah.
So I read on the same interview that back then on that show in Poland, it was like 4,000 to 5,000 people.
More than 5,000.
More than 5,000.
Actually, there were 5,600.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so, and we were the headliners. You know.
So, were you into the Polish scene, like the Metal Mania Festival, Turbo, and all that Polish scene beyond?
I was surprised. You know, I went to the Metal Mania Festival before recording, and I think I don't remember who was the headliner, you know, at that time. It was, I think, spring, and I went there. They were playing, it was a big festival in Katowice, over 6,000 people. And I've been presented by the promoter before the headliner. And when I went to say hi, you know, all the crowd, Bulldozer, was shocked, you know.
It's shocking. You didn't expect that?
No, not at all. Not at all. And he said, you are very popular because some pirates made this album, Pirate, and it was very successful because Poland was not under the pressure of the fucking magazine from England and from Germany. They were independent.
Yeah,
they were free.
Most of the Polish thrash scene is really fast.
They could choose what they liked and not what the magazine were proposing, you know.
Yeah, of course.
So that's why in Poland we were as big as, you know, Sodom or whoever else, you know.
So what do you think of the Italian scene back then? Like different bands, either from different times, like Death SS, Astaroth, Negro Death, Schizo. Were you closer to the Italian scene?
I mean,
either Milan or Italy.
They are all my friends.
Yeah.
But actually, in the 80s, Death SS, nobody knew Death SS outside Italy. And Death SS were amazing. I remember I went one time with a girl from California. She saw, you know, Motorhead with Franz Eddie Clarke and Phil Taylor, and the same night Ozzy Osbourne with Randy Rhoads. The same night, and she went to see Death SS in Italy in the 80s, and she was shocked. She said, "That's fucking great band," but they were unknown because in Europe they didn't give a fuck to the Italian. They said, Italian, we have spaghetti,
That was the success with Paul Chain?
With Portugal, yeah.
Do you think is that your favorite SSS period?
Yeah, of course. There's no question.
The Evil Metal EP is like one of the best Italian metal albums of all time.
Yeah, I love them. I love them.
So also,
actually, they don't love each other. Steve and they are both friends of mine, but they don't like each other. I love them both.
So also regarding the Italian scene,
and the Necrodeath, they were our friend. The Schizo were our friend, and also Mortuary Drape, our friend. We are.
So also regarding the Italian scene, were you into the Italian prog scene of the 70s? Considering it was such a huge thing, like Banco, Premiata, Museo.
You know why? You know who made Italian prog so successful?
Who?
Greg Lake.
ELP. You like Emerson, Lake and Palmer?
Of course. I love Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and I personally met Greg Lake personally, and he's one of the greatest musicians I ever met in my life.
Is he an influence to you on how you play bass?
Yeah.
He's a great bassist, but he's a great vocalist and great lyricist as well. That's the thing.
He's a genius. And he went to Italy and he discovered the Italian prog. He said, that's great. I want to produce them. And he produced them.
With Manticore, he released Premiata.
Yeah.
Afterwards, in 1990, you split up.
Yeah.
But in 92, you returned with this experimental EP, Dance God 6. So what led to that?
Yeah, because I was working in Japan and I was, watching the scene. I met personally the inventor of the techno music, which was Michiel van der Keur from Holland, Belgium. It was, a team from Netherlands, from Benelux. And I wanted to make something very crazy and make fun of the music scene. I mean, metal was not exciting anymore in those years. I was not liking the metal in the 90s. And techno was kind of sick. So I wanted to make a crazy project, just to make fun of decay of music.
Okay, that's interesting. An interesting take.
Yeah.
So, in 2004, you played the Derby with the power metal band Labyrinth in Japan.
Yeah, because they were my fans. They were big fans of
BULLDOZER.
Yeah.
So it's like they say, we're playing in Japan, you're here.
Yeah. But they say, please come with us.
Oh, that's nice.
I was already working in Japan, so I helped them, I helped them as a tour manager, as a publisher, and they wanted me on stage. Because they said we love.
Was it a nice experience? That was before the band united, right?
It was like entering in a time machine.
Nice.
Because I was not doing any more music, and I suddenly came back on stage.
So that led, not that it did, but then in 2009 you reunited and you released Unexpected Fate, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And that album has some big names as guests, like Billy Sheehan and Kiko Loureiro from Angra.
Yeah,
so how did you get that, and why did it happen?
Because I worked with them in the Japanese market. Yeah.
Perfect.
So I know a lot of musicians, from classical music, from any kind of music. Yeah.
So classical music, you recorded a classical piece with Dave Lombardo, right?
Exactly.
So how did that happen? That's a really weird, really unexpected release.
Yeah, because there's a writer from Cuba who imagined in the time of Vivaldi a session in the square where a landlord from Cuba with his cooker, his chef, and he was Cuban and he liked rhythm, and he imagined this Cuban joining a session in Venice with Vivaldi and the other musician, and he said that was the very best session ever, but unfortunately nobody could record it.
Okay.
But that happened, in his fantasy. He said, let's make it real, We have a Cuban drummer, we have the classical musicians specialized in Baroque music, in Vivaldi, top players, let's make a session.
Did you enjoy the experience?
Yeah, that's
Of course.
Actually, it's maybe the best experience.
Maybe the best experience
of my life.
So one of the last
music field,
one of the last questions is that in 2014 you came to Chile and to South America for the first time, right?
Yeah.
What was your what did you think of the audience back then, like the people and the crowd and everything?
I love that. Yeah, I love that. It was, yeah, I really loved it.
That was a really fun festival.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah, I really like the energy, the passion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love music because of that. In the music you can give all your passion, all your, all your heart, all your feelings, and that's why. And I really love that.
You can notice where something is made and received with that heart, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, in 2021, you released a new single, right? Heretic?
Heretic, yes.
So, are you planning on releasing a new album? Or was that like a one-time thing?
We are making experiments, and we'll see. If we like what we are doing, we will do something. If we are not convinced, we just play the old stuff. I mean, I don't want to. Unfortunately, we are not signed to any record company, and we don't have to do something because we need to do that.
Yeah.
All of us prefer to do something we really feel, we really believe, And Heretic was kind of strange experiment, and actually, no one of us is very satisfied. Except the video is amazing, but the music is so.
That's the first release you recorded as a quintet, right?
Yeah, we were a quintet.
So, but now that you came only as a trio again.
Yeah, trio, but
with the keyboards and everything.
Yeah.
So, what did you release? You decided to come as a trio this time instead of 5 or 6 people.
Because when we toured in 2018 here, the second guitarist could not come. So we had to come with. Actually, we were 2 bass. I wanted to restart playing bass.
Okay.
And we had the other bass player. So we made a session with. We made the tour with 2 basses and 1 guitar. And after that, we decided to turn back. Yeah,
turn back to a trio.
Turn back to a trio. Yeah.
So this is your last Chilean gig, and tomorrow you're going to Colombia, and then you're going to the US.
Yeah.
So, how has it been so far this tour, and what do you think of the South American audience, and what do you expect for today, and how was yesterday, and how has been the tour overall?
I mean, I really love to play in Latin America. Yeah, it's. I feel like home. Actually, when we play in the south of Italy, which I think it's the real Latin part of Italy, we have the same feeling. We feel the real passion, the real Latino. And of course, I'm Latino too. So we are like home. You know what I mean?
That's great. Well, that's pretty much it. I think that covers pretty much everything, because if I didn't ask, you answered on another question.
Yeah.
So thanks a lot for answering this. Thanks a lot for taking the time, and I hope you liked it.
Okay. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.